And welcome back, everyone, to Overtime. Our special guest here is Bryan Davis, who is the publisher of the Enterprise-Tocsin newspaper based in Indianola. He's been there for the last 7 years. We touched on the public schools and football, first block of this interview portion. Now let's go MAIS, Indianola Academy. Tough start for the Colonels out of the gates.
Well, I think if you look at last season, it was a tough start. Wound up beating Silver Bay, got into the playoffs, and won a playoff game. So just don't know how things are going to turn out as you go down the stretch. You take it game by game. I think they're wanting this particular group of guys to get better game by game. There's just certain skills, especially on the defense, where folks are getting beat, that they hope over by games 5, 6, 7, and 8 that they're not getting beat as much on those plays. And with this coaching staff, I think that as steady as they are, they're going to make that happen. These guys are going to get better.
You touched on the coaching staff. That's one thing that has impressed me so much about Coach Nestor and his staff as a whole. They've been together, that particular group, although you mentioned they lost someone to Pillow this past season.
Coach
but
Shannon,
nevertheless,
right?
but nevertheless, this group has, and that's kind of rare in this day and age where you see that a coaching staff staying together for the long term, and that's exactly been the case with IA over the past, 8, 9 years with this staff. They have familiarized with each other, and they have maintained a cohesion that has translated into a lot of success over the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a testament to Coach Nestor, and that these coaches want to coach under him. They enjoy it. If you go out there, these guys I've watched for years, and no matter what the talent level is on the field, no matter how things are going, they enjoy. There's joy in those coaches, no matter what's going on. They're fighting for their players every single play. They're in the refs' ears, trying to they're lobbying. Doesn't matter what the score is. And I think that's what's so special about Coach Nestor is that it could be 40-0 other guys, and he's going to be out there in people's ears. He's going to be in his own players' ears, and he's going to be in getting the attention of the referees, no matter what. I saw him in a scrimmage game at Lee, and it was the same deal. It was scrimmage game, didn't mean anything, weren't even keeping score, and he was fired up, trying to get those calls, trying to get the refs on their side, and that's part of their skill, and it's part of what makes them special. They are great advocates for their players, and that's why their players love playing for them.
Yeah, and he's been there 19 years. Is that right?
19 years, yes.
Wow. Now let's go right up the road from Indianola to the Drew area, in particular, North Sunflower Academy. 8-man football, one of my favorite parts of covering high school football in the Delta, 8-man, because these guys, they play both ways. They play pretty much for the entire game. You have to be a true stallion in order to play 8-man football. But North Sunflower Academy, another team, though, gotten off to a slow start to the season.
And, there's not as much depth as we're used to seeing out of North Sunflower. There's a kind of a short roster this year, but these guys are tough. They're going to get better as the season goes along, I believe, and they got a good coach up there that, again, cares about the kids. I think that's something that gets lost sometimes, and that's that you get a coach like Coach Nestor that's invested in the kids and their success on and off the field, and you're going to take some licks on Friday night, but overall, I think their program's going to be fine, and they're going to find some positives out of a season, regardless of what happens.
Have you had a chance to meet the new coach at North Sunflower, Trey Goss? And if so, what's your impressions of him so far?
Well, I haven't got a chance to meet Coach Goss, but we've done a couple of articles on him and in his background. He's a strong background, and I think that's the thing that impressed the folks at North Sunflower about him when they worked with him early on is that he really is invested in the player's success on and off the field.
8-man football, more like Iron Man football, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Now let's move up to the JUCO ranks, right over in Moorhead. Mississippi Delta Community College already having his season kicked off. Tough go at it early on with number 14th ranked Jones, and then after that they played just this past Thursday night number 2 ranked Mississippi Gulf Coast, and they got more nationally ranked teams down the line. So it just doesn't get any easier for Coach DeVaris Johnson. But you got some local players, some Sunflower guys right now, perhaps playing some huge roles, some significant roles this season for the Trojans. Tell us about some of those players, and one guy in particular, the quarterback, who's back for a second season.
Got Troy Griffin starting his second season. This guy was a 5-sport athlete at Gentry High School. He was a little hurt in his senior year, and had some times where he was not playing, and got some looks from some D1 schools, but decided to go to Mississippi Delta, and we're happy that he stayed in the county. I think it's great for the county. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get faster there, and we're hoping that he takes this and goes further with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited to see Troy. He's just been he was a great basketball player, and he was a great football player, even a good baseball player. Yeah. And I think that we're going to see something for the highlight reels from him this year, just like we did last year.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I tell you what, Bryan, we're going to take our final time out of overtime. When we return, we're going to talk about yourself in terms of your love for print. We'll be right back with much more. Bryan Davis, publisher of the Enterprise-Tocsin, right here on your Overtime.